You know, you sometimes get that feeling when you wake up extra early and you're like, yes, today is going to be my day. I'm going to be super productive. I'm going to get a big pile of laundry done. I'm going to start that project I've been putting off for the past couple of weeks. I'm just going to get it done today. I'm going to be the man. But for some reason, I pause. The motivation is there, but I'm totally frozen. Nothing's happening. Nada.
I start thinking about doing the work. I know exactly what I need to do, but I tell myself, I've got all day. Why don't we just sit down? I'll have a little coffee first, watch a little bit of YouTube, because that's still productive, right? Those minutes watching YouTube, they turn into hours, and those hours, well, they turn into more hours. And before you know it, I've wasted half the day. It's like I'm waiting for something. I'm waiting for someone to give me that magic motivational push just to make me do the work. But that thing, it never comes. And the thing is, I want to change my life. I really do. And I know exactly what I need to do. It's just doing it. It's working out. It's meal prep. It's starting the projects that I know are going to transform myself into the man I want to be. It's tying up those loose ends. It's hard, and the problem is the resistance is strong. There's just like some invisible force stopping me from doing it sometimes. The big problem is the longer I procrastinate and the longer I put it off, I get a sense of guilt and anxiety that seeps into most aspects of my life. Especially when I'm trying to sleep and you know you've just got that constant tape playing in your head of all the things I should have done, all the things I need to do, and that is causing a lot of issues because sleep is important for so many things and I just can't shut off at night. But I've had a breakthrough. Here are the 3 principles I've been using in the last couple of years to pretty much turn my life around and get the work done. A younger me of 5 or 6 years ago would see me now, and what I'm achieving is almost unfathomable to that person in the past.
Principle 1, environmental design.
There's one book you've probably never heard of before, especially in the self-improvement space, and that's Atomic Habits by James Clear. And there's one quote in that book that's stuck with me and has helped me gain massive progress. Environment is the invisible hand that shapes human behavior. But what does he mean by this? It's the way your house is designed, and I don't mean architecturally, I mean designed by you. Let me paint a picture and I'll explain. So, I've just got back from the shops. I drag up the shopping, I take my coat off, I sling my shoes on the floor. I leave it all there because it's already chaos. What's a little bit more mess? I'll clean it up later, I tell myself. I then get to the kitchen with my shopping, dump that on the floor. There's all sorts of pots and pans everywhere from the washing up the night before. It's all a bit of a shithole. I put away the essentials, the things I know need to go into the fridge, but slowly and surely, before I know it, I'm living like Stig of the Dump and the whole place is a mess. Bit of an obscure childhood reference there for you. Some of you might get it, especially in the UK. However, recently, I've been retraining my brain just to keep my house fucking tidy. Now, I'll admit it isn't perfect all the time, but just spending 5 to 10 minutes every day organizing has been so beneficial for me. Cleaning and tidying sets me up for success. It actually saves me time in the future. If my house is already tidy, I'll hang my coat up, I'll put my shoes away, I'll put the shopping away. If it's already neat and tidy, I'm more likely to keep it neat and tidy. These seemingly small decisions will create a harmonious, stress-free environment and will slowly become habit. These decisions will transform you from couch-ridden Homer Simpson to a fantastic whirlwind of productivity. Environmental design is everything. It shows self-discipline and a sense of responsibility. Small actions like the above will compound over time. One little rule I have is if it takes less than 1 minute to do, just do it there and then, just get it done. That dirty mug you keep walking past every time you go to the kitchen, I know you, I'm watching you, because I'm exactly the same person. Just take it to the fucking kitchen and get it clean. Before you know it, you can have a pile of mugs just all over your desk. Just do it. That's more of a note to myself because I still do it, but I'm trying to get that into my brain. Just do those tasks there and then. Get it done. Moving on. Making preemptive decisions are crucial. For example, as I'm on a cut, one simple way to eliminate junk food is to simply not have any in the building, in the fridge, in the pantry. Now it sounds obvious and simple. Instead of all the junk food being around, I've replaced it all with healthy food, so I've got no choice but to eat healthy food. I'm far too lazy to go out of my way and buy a load of junk food, unless I'm really desperate. I'm going to perform better as well. If I'm eating healthy, I'm going to make better decisions, I'm going to feel better in myself, as opposed to feeding on junk food where I feel sluggish, lethargic, unmotivated, leading to a sad pity party where I don't want to do anything. That makes doing the work even harder. Fueling yourself properly is key. One thing that's been a huge struggle for me is my mobile phone. It's addictive. It's ruining my sleep, and it makes me feel like a bit of a brain dead zombie just wandering around plugged into this thing. It's horrendous. The solution I've found is to create environment rules. The first one is to never take my phone in my bedroom. It sounds really simple, but it's actually pretty fucking difficult to rip that plaster off. I'm so used to laying in bed, browsing Reddit, convincing myself it's helping me fall asleep. But it's actually just an addiction. As harmless and as stupid as it seems, it's an addiction nonetheless. What I now do is leave the phone in my office and go to sleep without it, reducing blue light and the long-lasting stimulation those devices have on you. It's really actually helped me quite a lot. Just not having that distraction there, being able to lay there, just try and focus on sleep, counting my breath. I nod off a lot easier, and I think I have a better long-lasting sleep without my mobile phone. It's just, those things. The first environment rule, leaving your phone in a different room, was so difficult for me in the beginning, and I don't know why. It's just a mobile phone. But for me, it felt like a bit of a mini breakup with someone. It was so weird, and I think that's the power of technological crap, the hold it has over people. It's incredible. But what I do now is I leave my mobile phone in a different room, my office. I plug it into charge, and then I just go and sit down with the dog. I get my book, I turn the reading lamp on so it's nice and dim, and I just sit there and read for 15 to 20 minutes. At the moment, I'm reading The Power of Now, which is really good self-improvement book. And I just read until I get a bit tired, until the words don't really sink in anymore. And that's helped me drift off, and I think I've been having much better, deeper sleep without my mobile phone. So I would recommend that as one of my first environment rules. Simple environmental designs that also set you up for success can also be packing your gym bag the day before, buying a small home gym, thus eliminating the travel time and excuses. Sticking an exercise bike next to my desk has been a massive winner. And meal preparation. If you've got healthy food around, it's ready to go, it's easy to eat. I'm a sucker for this, because if it's not prepared or immediately next to me, it's easy for my brain to make up those excuses as to why I don't want to do anything. Another example is having a journal. It keeps me grounded. It helps me express myself, track my goals, and it keeps me accountable. But I'm terrible at filling it out, even though I know the benefits. What I do now is I leave the journal open on my desk before I go to bed. It's my go-to place, my desk. I'll eat there, I'll watch YouTube. It's pretty much where I spend 85% of my time on any given day. But if it's there in my way, I'll write in it straight away. I'll fill in what I need to do because it's right there. I've created that simple process of doing something the day before to help me in the future. Go past Jason. Granted, there are days when life is just life and I won't fill it out, but doing something simple, leaving my journal in the way where I know I'm going to be most days, has helped me fill it out and has helped me be more productive, keeping track of everything. Just leave certain things in certain places and that will make a massive difference. You get the idea. Think about the little things that take minutes to accomplish the day before, but will set you up for success. These little triggers will limit your brain's excuses. As you can probably guess, I spend a lot of time watching YouTube. And as I mentioned, I've got an exercise bike that I'll put next to my desk. So what I do now is when I'm about to watch a video, I just hop on the bike for 30 minutes. Because it's there, it's almost a no-brainer for me. I don't need to go out of my way to do some exercise. I don't need to think about it too much. I just go, okay, watch a little bit of YouTube, hop on the bike, 30 minutes, done. It's about stacking up easy wins that day to day make minute differences, but over the course of weeks and months will make you deadly. You can have results or excuses, not both. One last tip for environment is your friends. The people you hang out with make a massive difference, and you've probably heard the phrase before, you're like the sum of 5 people you hang around with the most. And I think it's pretty true. For example, if you hang out with a load of stoners, you're probably more than likely going to smoke quite a lot of weed, be a little bit lazy, and become a bit of a pothead. If you hang around with people at the pub and you drink a bit too much booze like I used to in the past, well, maybe I didn't hang around with people at the pub, but I drank a lot, which made me lazy, I made bad decisions, and I just didn't want to get the work done. If you hang around with people that eat too much fast food or constantly going out, eating McDonald's and KFC, you're probably going to overeat and maybe put on a bit of weight. I think all of these things in moderation are fine. Just be conscious about who you hang around with and the influence they have on you. It's way more powerful than you think. We could do a whole other video on that, but that's just a little bit I want to touch on. The next thing I want to move on to is leveraging momentum. Now this one is massive. Do you ever find yourself getting more stuff done when you're on a bit of a roll? There are some days when I get up extra early, I hit the dog walk, smash leg day, edit a video, and the momentum just carries on for the rest of the day. I almost feel superhuman on these days. I'm just getting this done, that done, that done. I'm ticking off the boxes. I feel rather proud of myself rather than a useless potato is how I feel some days. I've coined an original yet classic phrase, morning momentum. It isn't just luck, getting that momentum wave and riding it through. There are ways we can strategically plan our morning to make sure we get the most out of it. What you need to do is win the morning, as our beloved demigod David Goggins said. That's a bit of a mouthful. And he's right. Winning the morning is the way to go. That is what creates momentum. So for me, what I like to do is I start the day off with small wins. I'll wake up, I'll take the dog out for a 30-minute dog walk. It gets me out of bed, it gets me into nature, it gets direct sunlight into the eyes, which is imperative if you've been listening to Andrew Huberman. If you want to start the day off correctly, sunlight into the eyes increases daytime alertness and focus, better sleep and immune function. The act of getting up and out means I'm not going to lay in bed, looking at my phone, waiting for something to happen. I've started the day. That little morning ritual of just getting up, taking the dog out for a walk, getting sunlight into my eyes is like therapy for me. It literally sets me up for the day. Now that I've created a bit of momentum, I'm up, I'm out. It's time for a quick coffee and it's time to work out. I find if I don't get that training done in the morning, I procrastinate or never do it. It's so easy for me to make those excuses in my brain. It's better just to get it done. And getting it done nice and early creates sort of a post anti-anxiety boost and a bit of a buzz that carries on for the rest of the day. You know you can just tolerate a bit more bullshit once you've done something really hard, like leg day or running or sprinting. Anything like that just sets you up. These are the first two things I do every day when I can. There's always days when life is life and I can't quite make it, but the days when I do those two things, I create that wave of momentum that just carries on for the rest of the day. It's easier for me to focus on those other tasks. I haven't got that nagging voice in the back of my head that tells me to work out because I've already fucking done it. Time permitting, on a day off, I'll get my next biggest task done. The thing that's really important, the thing that's going to create the biggest ripple throughout the week and get me ahead. It could be something like recording this video, editing a video, creating a big batch of candles, something that's going to use up a big amount of creative energy. I get that done first. Inevitably though, throughout the day, momentum will fade. Especially after having a little break or having a meal, you just get a bit sluggish. Things slow down. But what we can do is create smaller waves of momentum. This is what I like to call skimming. When you go to the beach or like a lake and you skim a stone, those things ripple, and that's what we want to create. Ripples that create bigger ripples and turn into more momentum. Often I have a to-do list, whether it's written down or mental, and when I'm struggling to get going, I pick off some easy wins. Put on some laundry, that'll take 2 minutes. Hoover the house, 5 to 10 minutes, done. Boom. Water the plants, 1 minute. Seemingly inconsequential tasks, but each one of them is creating a little bit of momentum. They're getting me up, they're getting me doing stuff. And it's going to lead to more productivity. Less stagnation, that feeling when you're frozen, you're just staring into the abyss of your favorite YouTuber. Like I said previously, the things you want to do, but they're just not happening. Start picking off easy wins, and you're going to create that wave of momentum that will just carry through, once again, picking you up in the afternoon. Start small and work your way up again. To put this all quite simply, having a routine, especially in the morning, is going to do you massive wonders, and it's going to set you up. The third principle is you have to show up. For me, this often looks like a fake it till I make it scenario, somewhat of an identity crisis. So there's an entrepreneur called Patrick Bet-David who describes it like this. On any given day, you either need to be an athlete or an actor. And of course you have to show up, you always have to show up, and you have to just try and get it done. But it's a bit like this. So if you're an actor and you turn up to an audition, do you think you're just going to get the part by simply turning up? No, of course not. And I'm going to pick baseball. I don't know anything about baseball, but if you turn up to a baseball game as an athlete, do you think you're just going to win the baseball game by simply turning up? No, of course not. And it's a bit like doing the hard work. You have to force yourself and try and psych yourself up to be kind of a high vibration, high energy, charismatic guy that's doing it. You need to believe you're already that guy, and you'll forget you weren't even in the mood to do the work anyway. You just need to have that sort of belief in yourself and see it and just fake it until that eventually does become you. And that is just going to change your life. Start thinking about it and start believing you are that person. Confident, high energy, high vibration, business guy that's just going to get the work done, and it will become so. You're the man. And more importantly, the more you do believe it, the more you start to enjoy the process, because you are achieving your goals and you're becoming the person you want to be. As people, we want to improve, we want to change, but the issue is our subconscious ego doesn't want to let go. It holds on and it will use sneaky ways to divert you from the path, or even to make you take a few steps back. It's a battle, like it truly is a battle, because you want to become a certain type of person, and in doing so, the work can become quite challenging. The current self is comfortable, it's easy, it's going to cling on to its existence, it's like its own entity. The way I sort of look at it is a bit like Gollum, you know, in the Two Towers, when he's just fucking with Sam and Frodo and he's just making them take steps back and turning them in loops. It's that little creature that's going to make you do the things which are easy, the path of least resistance. It's going to be like, oh, I'll just have a look at Instagram. I'll just play a video game. I'll do the easy stuff rather than doing the work. There's a quote from a book I've been reading called The Power of One More. Your greatest gains and success happen when you push yourself to new places and new limits. You need to create new conditions, new environments, and new rules for the new self to thrive. Fight off the current comfortable self that's trying to drag you down. It's easy staying the same. Change is really hard. I used to find myself dipping my toes in the water and skirting around actually doing the hard work and making changes. I'd create a negative loop in my head, justifying my own bullshit. I don't earn enough money. I'll never be able to eat healthy. I don't have the right gym equipment. I'll never be able to do the right exercise. The guy over there earns more than me. He's got access to better health supplements. He's got access to better food. He can go to a better gym. He's got it easier than me, blah, blah, blah. So I'm already creating that sort of negative loop before I've even started, telling myself I can't do it because I haven't got the means, which is all total bullshit. It's just your mind trying to convince you to stay in its present unfulfilled self. Like I said, that subconscious ego, it clings on, it doesn't want to die, it is its own entity. But the more you do the hard work, the more you sort of confirm to yourself, it is possible that little piece of you will slowly die as you change. And people do it all the time. It's easier to find an excuse to not do something than it is to actually get started. Now just think about that. How many times do you hear people say, I can't do that because I haven't got the money, or I haven't got the time, or it's just so many things like that. You just need to get started. Doing the hard work is actually pretty fucking hard. That's why it's called hard work. And it's why most people aren't successful. But if you want to change, you have to show up every day and you just have to get it done. Empty the tank as much as possible. Just go until there's nothing left. Whether it's in your work pursuits, whether it's training, just do that a little bit more. Just go a little bit further. One more rep, one more minute of reading. Just think like that. And there's a chap, Joe DeSena, CEO of the Spartan Race. I once heard him say in a podcast, if you're not pissing blood, you're probably fine. And he's right, it's how I look at stuff now. We all give up way too easily. We just don't want to push through the boundaries. If we just stick at it for a prolonged time and do the same things every day, there's no choice for us to win. We'll make those slow, steady, incremental changes. We've got it so easy now. What's really hard isn't actually that hard. At least we're not in the trenches in World War I or in World War II, like in an underground fucking bomb shelter whilst German bombers are blitzing. I'm just trying to paint a little picture here. We've got it pretty good and we've got access to the internet. We've got so many opportunities to succeed. There's just so many mental obstacles we face before we even try to do anything. You've just got to push through the mental barriers, get the work done, and you'll be amazed at what you can truly achieve. We're all capable of so much more. And that brings us to the end of the video. If you've liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. There's going to be way more kind of videos coming out like this about self-improvement. as well as sort of meal prep and things like that. I work full time as a chef, so I've got some wicked productivity hacks to get the most out of your training and the most out of like your time. So you don't need to spend an hour slaving in the kitchen. I've got some wicked meal prep recipes for high functioning people that want loads of protein, but they don't want to piss around. So stay tuned. I'll see you in the next one.